I'm joined today by Hans Nordby, Global Strategist for Property and Portfolio Research. Have institutional investors changed their perception of REITs?
I think they have. For one thing, REITs have shown that having on the order of 50% LTV has a value. Now, of course, REITs got hurt like everybody else, and they got hurt very badly. But REITs appear to have been through it, and now they're coming out the other side to a limited extent. REITs have historically led the private markets, or at least they have for the past 7 to 8 years. So there's an increased positive perception there. Also, in contrast to the really highly leveraged, commingled funds, many of which had problems with the incentives between the managers and the investors. You know, you combine 80% LTV with a sort of iffy alignment structure between the pension funds that put the money in and the managers managing the assets, and you wind up with something that's underwater and everybody's fighting. In contrast, REITs look great.
Now has this change in perception, has that been shown in an increased allocation towards REITs by a number of institutional investors?
Well, the biggest area that's going to gain as a result of the most recent cycle are separate accounts and lower leveraged assets. Plan sponsors feel like, gosh, I want more control. I sold that asset 3 times last cycle through 3 different managers and paid the fees 3 times. I'm still holding the asset and it didn't work out. So they want control over assets, they want control over structure, and they want control over duration. Now, separate accounts with low leverage have looked pretty good the last couple of years because they provide all those things. That's the next place that plan sponsors are putting their money. But REITs are benefiting as well. One of the great things about REITs is you can get in quickly. It's liquidity. The liquidity didn't work out as well as everybody had hoped on the way down, because when things are falling that fast, nobody sells. Well, somebody's selling, but overall it doesn't provide as much value as you might think, because most people were generally left holding the bag. However, if you look at REITs, they offer an opportunity to get into the market this afternoon. There's almost no transaction activity out there on the private market. REITs offer an opportunity to get in. Increasingly, I think that's appreciated by institutional investors. And lastly, REITs are big. You can't miss them anymore. 20 years ago, you could be in real estate, not be in REITs, and everybody thought that was normal. Now, if you're an institutional investor going into real estate, you have to have a reason not to go into REITs. And there may be a reason for any particular institutional investor, depending on their situation, but they have to think about it, and really it's part of a balanced breakfast now.
Thanks, Hans. For REIT.com, I'm Matt Bishan.